I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh and Angel Ortega. As always, welcome by the one and only man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, my friend and yours, Angel Ortega. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. And by a lot, I mean UFC London, UFC Mexico City. We also have a bunch of news, some of it good, some of it bad. But you know what is excellent is our offers from our sponsor of the show, Rogue Energy, ELYXR, and BetMGM. If you follow the link down below to BetMGM, you can get up to $1,500 in bonus bets paid back. That's if you don't hit on your first bets. Look, man, hey, if you would have followed our picks last week, bit of a mixed bag, for at least for the co-main. But I mean, hey, thought you on one. We'll get into it in a minute. But nonetheless, follow the link down below. You get up to $1,500 in bonus bets.
This would be a good pod then.
Oh, perfect. So, nonetheless, though, contact 1-800-GAMBLER if you're having any issues. But if you want to have some fun with us and the boys, go ahead and follow the link down below. Nonetheless, two of the sponsors of the show, Rogue Energy keeps me filled up whether I'm at the gym, at home, or at work. They get me to the finish line. They can help you get there as well. Code Soundoff, all caps, when you spell the brand's name at checkout for 10% off. Lastly, ELYXR. Man, you know what? We are only a few weeks out from 420. And if you want to go ahead and go to ELYXR.com, they got Delta 8, Delta 9, tons of great products there. They got picking up some joints lately and just trying those out, man. You can try them out for 10% off. Code Soundoff. Once again, all caps at checkout when you spell the brand's name.
Dude, 420 lands on a Sunday. That's demonic.
Ooh. Well, hey, we're gonna have some fun, aren't we?
Yeah, guys, Papania episode coming in a month.
That's not a bad idea. Nonetheless, the UFC, we're located.
Maybe that should be my thing now. Each time we have a shitty card, I just get roached for
Just get fucking faded,
Like what's his name from Morning Combat?
Oh, the Bong Island Luke?
Bong
Island Luke. Shout out Bong Island Luke, dude. Shout out Bong Island Luke.
Might have to go might have to do a Bong Island podcast, dude.
I get that. Nonetheless, man. They were located from the O2 Arena, London, England, Saturday night. And the real Rocky coming to the UK. Sean Brady, Philly's finest, going through and putting a fucking beating.
Yeah, dude. Philly fresh weight. Phil Hawes? No,
oh, shit. No, but it's just
wrong Philly fighter.
But Sean Brady showing the spirit of Philadelphia, going in there, talking shit in the lead up, going out there, dominating him. And I mean, look, the first round was close. They had some, and Leon, to his credit, landed some big shots. Remember, I think in the third round, they came out, he landed just a clean uppercut followed by a clean left elbow. Baldwin Lynch tagged Brady, but Sean Brady, he was in there. He had a great chin. He took the fight to where he wanted to go, and in round 4 gets a submission win with the guillotine choke. Leon Edwards not only got dominated here, he had some of the worst decision making I've ever seen in a high profile UFC fight. I'm going to go ahead and be honest here. In the third round, which is basically when the fight ended. Look, round 1 was close. Round 2, he got taken down early on, but he made it through. He's had fights like this before, Leon Rocky Edwards, in the past, where against Kamaru Usman in the rematch, getting controlled for long stretches of the fight. He rallied back and he won. Even in the trilogy fight, he had some moments like that. Sean Brady in round 2 took him down. Round 3, Leon Edwards comes out, lands the big shots I just mentioned. The big uppercut lands clean, stops Sean Brady right in his tracks. He comes forward again. Huge over left elbow, And then Leon Edwards shoots for a takedown against one of the greatest. I was not watching with commentary. I thought he slipped. That's how bad the shot was. This is not a joke until I looked up the stats and I heard other people talking. I'm like, wait a minute, that was a double leg attempt? That was actually he was trying to shoot? That's how bad the shot was. And from there, it was academic. Angel, give me your thoughts on Sean Brady's win over Leon Edwards on Saturday night.
Well, for one, I'm very happy I played a hostage negotiator last week and convinced you. And I mean, I listened and I'm like, man, if this does not go the way I think it does, man, I'm going to look really stupid next week. But I actually looked, I think, some of the most intelligent I ever have in a fight preview ever. I was actually quite proud of this because, I mean, it was true. Everything I said, it came to truth. I did not expect it to be this dominant, though. I mean, that was an elite performance over a former champ. Look, and I brought this up several times as Sean Brady's come out over his past few fights. Before Shockbot, before Jack Della Montana, before Carlos Proctus, before Michael Morales, the prospect people were looking at coming up, being like, that guy's gonna do some shit. This guy could be potentially a champion, or just someone that was hyped up in the rankings, was Sean fucking Brady. He's back, baby. Some of the best top game in the whole game. Pause.
No diddy.
No diddy. You know how people are these days. But yeah, dude, his how he is, his positioning up top, his wrestling, his submission, grappling is next to none in this division. And I mean, probably in the whole, like, just in the sport in general. I mean, it was a stellar performance. I mean, I can't say enough about it. I mean, it was as dominant as you can get over. I mean, what was the last time you saw a champion get dominated like that? I mean, probably Gone and John. But,
yeah,
but even prior to that,
decision making that bad, it's been a minute. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen something that bad on Saturday night. Yeah.
By the way, how do you feel about after this Sean Brady being crowned as the #1 contender? I had mixed feelings, but then as people got to explaining this situation a little bit more, and once I started kind of looking into it a bit more, I was kind of like, okay, I understand.
Well, it's one of those things too, where it's like, is he the #1 contender though, or is he just gonna be the ranked #1? Like, we know Nasruddin Imavov is ranked #1 at 185. We know he's not fighting for the belt next. I don't think that he should fight for the belt next. I think it should be Shavkat Rakhmonov. But I understand why he's ranked #1. I mean, he just went out there and he beat Leon Edwards worse than Belal Muhammad. Belal Muhammad, I mean, we everybody clowned on Leon, but that was a 48-47 fight. You know what I mean? Like, sure, I mean, that's mainly because it's Belal Muhammad. Everybody clowns on Belal Muhammad. So if you lose to Belal Muhammad, you're like gonna be viewed as a clown. You know what I mean? In a lot of people's eyes. Whether it's fair or not. But yeah, man, I'm happy to see Sean Brady ranked #1. This is a guy that's worked his ass off and has never gotten the credit he deserves. Even stepping up here on short notice. You got to remember here, this is supposed to be Jack de la Motta.
This is the best he's looked, by the way.
Yeah, it's supposed to be JDM in this position. And in a way, you kind of got to feel bad for Leon, because this is his 7th grappler in a row. And finally, like, oh, damn, finally got a boxer. And it's like, oh, no, yank, So, but still, man, I mean, he got dominated in such a way that was just brutal. And for Sean Brady, you just said it, this is the best he's ever looked. Even including some like the dominant wins. Like, he looked great against Kelvin Gastelum, I thought. Gilbert Burns, he took him a little bit to get going, I thought. But he looked great down the stretch, showed that he had the 5-round cardio. The Michael Chiesa one, another, like, that could have been a breakout moment for him. But, like, he went up 2-0 and then ended up gassing in the third, So, like, we've had moments with Sean Brady where it looks like he's ready to get over the hump and then he just doesn't get there. We're finally there. He's a #1 guy. I think you're going to have Belal is going to fight JDM in a month and a half. That fight's coming up real quick. We're 5 weeks out. I think after that, you book the winner of that against Shavkat Rakhmonov. And then after that, you give Sean Brady a title shot. I think he has done enough to earn one. I just don't think he should be the next guy in line. I think it should be Shavkat, who was already supposed to get a title shot.
I think how you just worded it and kind of the flow, but if it all goes down like that, I'm a fan. I like it like that. That's about Leon, though. Like, I think,
oh man,
like, there was a lot of conversations about Brady coming out of this. I feel like people kind of slow down. A lot of hate towards Leon.
Yeah,
I mean,
understand,
and we gotta have conversations, man, because this was unacceptable. I mean, this was such a letdown. No, I mean, what do you have to say for yourself, John? No, I was kidding.
yeah, fuck me, right? Yeah. How did I know he was gonna shoot for a double leg on the greatest grappler at 170 pounds? Why didn't I fucking think of that? Oh my god. Yeah, you've only been controlled for 6 minutes of this 9 minutes you fought so far, so you might as well do it, right? I mean,
what's next?
What's next? I think he needs to go back to the drawing board and maybe even get a whole new team in weight class. You cannot be dominated the way. No, I'm dead serious.
Man, you are new weight class. That's crazy.
Why not, man? Fuck it. Put on some weight. He started his career up at 185. Put on some weight. Do some fun matchups. The reality is he's 33 years old. If at 33 years old you are getting thrown around on short notice,
I'm gonna say
and making decisions like that, you have to make a big radical.
By the way, John Brady did just have like a baby too. Like, motherfucker left the hospital and started training. Like,
and he dominated a guy who had a full camp, and he wasn't close
in his hometown.
In his hometown, man. I mean, I don't know what you even say about that. Like, that's just so. And again, it's not even that he lost, because I can understand the loss. Sean Brady is a fucking dog. It's the decision making. Of like, yeah, I'm going to shoot a fucking shot from 15 yards away on the greatest grappler at 170 pounds. It just is mind-blowing.
Is Leon's fight the most important fight for a fighter after a loss in recent time?
I'd say so.
His next fight is so important. I think, this is my thought, I think he should fight Ian Gary next. If he still wants to fight a hard fight, he thinks he's that good. I think he should fight Ian Gary next.
Makes a lot of sense.
It's a massive fight. They're both coming off losses.
They got beef too. Don't forget.
They got beef.
He got Ian Gary after I don't remember his original.
You don't
gym.
even have to do that in London, dude. You could do that in Vegas.
You could do that anywhere. I remember Ian Gary. He left his original gym. I don't remember which gym it was, and then he went to train with Leon Team Renegade. Got kicked out of there, and then ended up landing at Charlie Olive's gym. So,
Shoot a box.
Yeah. So look.
By the
Leon's
way,
next fight is so important.
I have a question for you. What is not including the champ, what is your current hierarchy of the ranked 170ers? You know, where do you rank Cuck and Buck at? I had to steal that one from Bong Island Luke. I thought it was
holy shit. I didn't know Bong Island Luke said it, or else I would have just given you credit for that one. Like,
no, but
God damn it, and bringing out the bangers today. Cuck and the Buck.
Yeah, where do you rank Cuck and the Buck and
the rest
Brady
of the boys
and the rest of the boys and Shockbot and all the crew?
Look, I think
maybe start. I'd say make your way down. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5.
Should I go just top 5?
Yeah, you're just current top
Are
5.
we including below?
Not including below.
Not including the below. I think Shavkat Rakhmonov is still the best guy at 170 pounds. I understand he's coming off a close fight with Ian Gary in which he fought with a torn MCL, I believe. I'm not gonna, and even then he still won. And I mean, you can make the look. Shavkat Rakhmonov is still that fucking guy. Like I want people to go back and watch his fucking demolition job of Jeff Neal, or the way he just Wonder Boy, one of the best in the game. At that point, he was coming off a couple big wins too, just fucking annihilate. It took him 2 rounds to just get him out of there. Like. He's so good. Beyond that, that's where it gets a little bit tricky. Because, like, for example, in real life, here's how their top 5 goes. Sean Brady, Shavkat Rakhmonov, Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman, Jack Della Maddalena. I think you take Leon and Kamaru out of that top 5. Especially Leon after this.
Kamaru inactivity, dude. He should be moved down. I don't know how he isn't.
I mean, Kamaru...
Respectfully, Kamaru
Usman is riding a 3-fight losing streak and has not fought since October of 2023. He has no fights.
Oh, what are we doing here, man?
Yeah, I mean,
what are we doing here?
We're going on almost 2 years. I mean, it should be April.
He should be removed from the rankings entirely at that point.
He should. And his last fight was a 185, not even 170. He hasn't won a fight since. Holy shit! I don't know when the last time 2022? Is that right? Am I remember?
Is that the last time Kamaru Usman competed at 170?
No, not competed at 170. Last time he won a fight. The last time he won a fight was November of 2021. When
was the last time he competed at 170 though?
March of 2023. It's been 2 years, over 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous. So here's how my top 5 would go. I'm gonna have Shavkat Rakhmonov number 1, Sean Brady number 2. I think Sean Brady is genuinely really, really good. I think the fact that he's 19-1 in the one loss of Bilal Muhammad, which is kind of funny. Definitely gonna remember the name. Yeah, man.
Hey, by the way, credit to Bilal. That win has now aged gracefully.
I remember when that fight got booked, people were dunking on both guys because they're like, "Oh, Sean Brady's boring," and so is Bilal. Turns out those are the 2 best fucking guys in the division. So I mean, arguably, right?
It was a good fight too.
It was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
Number 3.
One of Bilal's more entertaining fights.
True. You got the knockout, right? The only one that you see thus far. So number 3, JDM. I think GDM. I still just need to see a lot more of the guy.
Really? Above the Cuck and the Buck.
Above the Cuck and the Buck. Mainly because I do value that Gilbert Burns win a lot. I think he's one of those guys, we haven't seen him fight a lot of top level guys. His top level wins are Gilbert Burns, who at that point was still a viable contender, so on and so forth. And actually looked good in that one. Kevin Holland, who he beat. And then also, I believe there's one other one. Somebody I'm forgetting. Randy Brown was another high level win. But I just haven't seen enough of him. But I do think he has the talent. And I've seen him, the way he's run through some of these guys. It makes me think, okay, maybe he doesn't have the names, but the potential's there. And then you have the Buck. Buckley, who might be number 3, honestly. I mean, thinking about it, I kind of want to, fuck it, who cares? I'm going to put him number 3, JDM number 4. The Buck, huge fan of the guy. The guy, look, is he small for the division? Yeah. Is there a lot of questions about the wrestling? Yeah. That motherfucker hits so hard. I mean, dude, I understand Colby Covington's kind of a clown. He doesn't want to fight in God knows how long, probably since Trump's first administration. I don't remember. But your point being, Buck, man, he ran through him. That fight was close for a minute. Fuck off about whenever people complain about the stoppage. Oh, the stoppage. Dude, he got his ass kicked for 15 minutes out of 15 minutes. I mean, that's just the reality of Buck versus Colby. So I got Buck number 3, JDM number 4, and then probably Ian Gary. I think Ian Gary, another guy I would still like to see more out of. But the reality is, if you put him against Leon Edwards, I'm going to pick Ian Gary to win that fight right now. And you put him against Kamaru Usman.
He's one of the youngest guys, too.
Yeah. And he's improving rapidly. I mean, we've seen it, too. I remember when he came into the UFC and there was so much hype and he was talking a lot. Everybody was clowning on him, and they still do clown on him. But I remember he almost got knocked out by the kid with diabetes. Can't remember his name right now, but he almost got fucking just clobbered. I think it was like an NYC card too. But he's grown so much from that night to where it's like, oh fuck,
It's not even the same guy.
it's not even the same guy. What about you? How do you view 170 right now?
I'd say roughly about the same. Probably Brady 1, Shockwell 2. I'm actually gonna put Gary at 3.
Oh, okay, I respect that.
Buck at 4, and funny enough, Jack at 5. But granted, though, these you got to take into account. We're not talking about like massive gaps. Maybe once you get to like 3, 4, and 5, maybe the gaps are the separation from each other is a little bigger than the 1, 2, and 3. I think 1, 2, and 3 are pretty tight. Like I get it if you will move one guy and the other guy. Personally, I rate Gary pretty high.
Yeah.
I think Jack is good, but wrestling has been very untested. And the one time he fought that guy who came in on short notice, it was
Basil Hafez,
who was a decent little wrestler. I mean, there were some struggles there, kind of raised some eyebrows. I don't know. And then Buckley's one I'm just hesitant about, but hey, he's getting these big moments. He's shining, and he's a big time athlete. I mean, I could definitely see him doing some crazy shit, so that's why I put him at 4.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Like I said, all these guys are close.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to move your list around, I'm like anybody's list is not gonna. I'm not gonna get mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
no,
at anybody's list.
No, I agree. I got you. Yeah, well, that's the reality. You could move these guys around. Like it's 170 at the top level. Like some of these guys still have to fight each other. Like Shavkat hasn't fought anybody else.
I put Shavkat 1, Brady 2. That I don't know if I said that.
Oh, there you go. So, but like, if you take a look at the top 5, Shavkat hasn't fought anybody else in the top 5. Sean Brady hasn't fought. He's only fought Leon. Kamaru has only fought Leon. You know, Leon's only fought Kamaru, and now Sean Brady. JDM hasn't fought anybody
with
else
his current crop. Yeah.
Yeah. So, still a lot to be seen. But yeah, Leon Edwards. I said maybe a weight class change. He's got to figure something out. Something has to change. You cannot lose these fights back to back, and especially the fact that he was blaming the time change for the loss to Bilal Muhammad. Motherfucker, Bilal Muhammad also fought at 5 a.m. He also fought. He slammed you on your fucking head 20 seconds into the fight. You're telling me that it was what was it? Asleep? Like what, dude? Come on. And I'm a Leon Edwards guy. Like this has been years that I've been like, yeah, this guy's the best one at 170, and I feel like I was vindicated for years about that. I was like, fuck yeah, man. I called that one. Leon, I gotta be like coach. You fucking 2 down, Leon. Leon, you've lost 2 in a row, Leon. You gotta get up all together, put that shit on fire, Leon.
Like I said, dude, where was that shit the last fight, coach? Where was that shit the last fight, coach?
Yeah, dude, he just needed another motivational speech and he would have won, dude. Let's move down to the co-main event. This one, controversial. I will say the fight itself was kind of lackluster. I had hoped a little bit more, but it wasn't a bad fight. Just
really,
kind of
I ended up finding myself really enjoying it.
I thought it was kind of a it was a chess match. How about that? It was one of a slow paced kind of chess match. In the end, Black Jag, Carlos Solberg, continues the run, picking up a unanimous decision win, 29-28 across the board. You pull up the MMA decisions. Jan Blachowicz, it's 76% of fans think he won. I will say media members, it's 4 out of 10 for Jan Blachowicz. So very much a split down the middle type fight. I thought Jan did enough to get the nod, but I wasn't. It's far from a robbery. I'll also say that. I know that you were on the opposite side of it. Tell me your thoughts.
I actually rewatched it this morning.
Ooh, fuck yeah! All right, go ahead.
I rewatched it this morning and
Fresh take.
I still thought Olberg won.
Okay.
I thought Olberg won 2 and 3. I thought
2 and 3. Okay.
And funny enough, dude, and I'm saying like I'm not gonna lie to you. Even at the moment, I rewatched it without commentary and all that. Like this is why you got to rewatch fights, man. And like sometimes scoring fights in the moment, like funny enough, there was a part of me that thought Olberg won round 1, and there was a judge that thought that too. Upon rewatching, I'm kind of like I was like, actually, you know something? Never mind. But I could see how you could go one way. I could see how you could go the other way. I gave it to Blachowicz in the end because I was like, I kind of read into it, listened to some other people's takes. I was like, all right. And then I thought Olberg took 2 and 3 decisively.
Hey, you know what? That's fair enough. Like I said, it is not a fight that I'm going to go to the mat for arguing.
Oh, dude, we have. I mean,
we've had arguments.
There's a fight on this card where I do think a guy got robbed.
Was it Mick Parkin?
No, but I did see that.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. I think I got the idea of what the fight could be. I'm going to guess it's a Jai Herbert. No. Okay. Well then I'll.
There was a lot of the judges had a tough night.
Was it our boy out of Ireland?
Yeah, I did not think he won.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. The MMA. I didn't even look up the MMA decision on this one until right now. That one's bad. That one's way worse than I thought it was. Okay. Nonetheless, I'll talk about my co-main and then we'll run down the other ones. I thought Jan won rounds 1 and 3. Like I said, I'm not going to fight to the mat on this one. It was a very close fight. Both guys could have done more to kind of solidify the win, honestly. But that being said, I mean, it's hard not to feel bad for Jan Blachowicz. We're coming off. So this was a very controversial loss, whether or not I agree or whether or not you agree with the result. A lot of people disagreed. Split decision loss to Alex Pereira before that. Split draw with Magomed Ankalaev before that.
I thought he could have won that arguably. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, so he's coming off back like 3 decisions in a row where it's just like 1, 2, 3 extra punches across these fights could have swayed the judges. So it's hard not to feel
We
bad
needed
for
that Polish power.
Yeah, we needed that Polish power. And I still think he's going to come back. And even at 42 years old, coming off an injury, he's still one of the best in the division.
He's doing a global run. He's trying to do a global run, man.
Which is so badass because he low-key had his own global run because he was like 38 when he won. Right, 38, 36, right? What's the math on that?
But then he lost the global, right?
He did. Yeah, it was one of my favorite moments of all time, honestly.
By the way, underrated fight.
Such an underrated. Dude, whenever I remember you and I watching that one, like whenever Glover
because we picked Glover.
And Glover's a huge dog. And I'm like, guys, have you guys not watched Glover's recent run of him just taking down fucking... He's not going to stand on the feet with this guy. Took him down in round 1. Round 2, he fakes the level change. Beautiful uppercut. Nearly puts him out. Ends up taking him down. And like, oh my God, dude, what a fucking moment. Glover Teixeira, the oldest, first time UFC heavyweight champion. Oldest light heavyweight champion, first time. So 42. Jan, now 42. We'll see what happens. That's all I'm saying. We'll see what happens.
Anything's possible, man.
Yeah. Looking up and down the card, man. We have to mention this one. Kevin Holland, Gunnar Nelson, a fucking banger, man. I loved that fight. Kevin Holland comes out, nearly murders Gunnar Nelson in round 1. Could have called it off, honestly. I would have had zero problem.
If there was any more time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he landed some huge shots. Gunnar survives. Round 2, some back and forth. Round 3, Gunnar ends up nearly submitting him. I mean, just what a very fun fight. Love to see it. The rest of the card, Molly McCann suffering a first-round submission loss to Alexia Tanara, who then, she gets the win, she jumps, and then starts twerking in the cage. I mean,
the dive twerk.
The dive twerk, excuse me. That's Aura, ladies and gentlemen. No, and then, imagine,
Ali
dude,
Perez
imagine like losing your retirement fight, and then like you're just sobbing in the corner, and your fucking opponent's just fucking.
And then they asked her to take a picture too with their
yeah.
team. Did you see that?
I did. Yeah, I love that.
This was a sad retirement, actually. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming. Meatball Molly, man. I mean, look, people made fun of her because people
subbed again, by the way, too. Like, yeah. We got to talk about that.
People dunk on her all the time, but the reality is women's MMA does not have enough of these fighters that are like not championship level, but are kind of fun. Because Molly McCann, whether or not you like her or not,
she was fun.
She's swinging and banging. She's gonna give you some crazy interviews. I mean, she had back-to-back spinning back elbow knockouts of 2022. Like. The girl was fucking fun. Made it into the rankings at one point. Had some big fights. Hell of a career. She got further than I thought she would. So because I remember when she first came in, it was like
she had her mini run, man. She did what she hit her apex, and it was cool. And she got to enjoy herself. She got some bonuses. She grew as a personality and as a brand.
I bet she'll have a career after this.
Yeah.
We'll see. Anyways, fuck the Tories. So, anyways, Chris Duncan picking up a win over Jordan Vucecic. One of my favorite fights on the card, man. Love me some Chris Duncan.
God, talking about mistakes, man.
Yeah, fucking A. Yeah.
Jordan Vucecic here, going for the level change. Big mistake here.
Yeah. Dude, that was a decision made on Saturday night. There were a lot of
he's gonna look back at that and definitely be disappointed.
And Jordan's a talented kid too, so I mean he'll be back. But
by the way, we gotta talk about it. The darkest of darkest horses at 145. Nathaniel Wood.
Nathaniel motherfucking Wood defeating Morgan Shire. He was a dog.
He's 5-1 in his last 6 fights, I think.
And some of the names in that stretch too. Morgan Shire, a great prospect. Daniel Pineda, a longtime vet. Andre Feely, longtime vet. Charles Jourdain, just a dog. Charles Rosa, just another dog. Great win.
I think it's time for a ranked fighter.
Yeah, I mean if you take a look at the 145-pound rankings, number 15 is Dan Ige, and I feel like that's a fight that makes sense.
Dan Ige's book, sadly.
Oh, who's he fighting?
Tall 145. I can't remember his name right now.
Sean Woodson?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right. That's April 12th, UFC 314. Oh, that's a spicy one. All right. Calvin Kattar currently unbooked. Bryce Mitchell is fighting Demons and also John Silva next month.
He has a little bit of waiting, unfortunately.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens. I'm happy.
He could get pushed through though. Like let's say, who'd you say was 15? Danny Ige loses.
Danny Ige.
He could move out of the. Well, granted, then Sean Woodson would take that rank.
Probably,
never mind.
But nonetheless, I'm happy you mentioned him because I didn't even realize how good of a run he's currently on. So.
He's the dark horse at 145, man. He's been the dark horse at 145 for a minute.
Chris Padilla picking up a split decision win over Jai Herbert. That was a fight that happened.
Taco Meat stealing this one, huh?
Yeah. Loner Kavanaugh defeating Felipe dos Santos.
Fun kid, man.
Yeah. Down at heavyweight, dude. Mick Parkin.
I need to watch it. I actually didn't.
I thought he won, but even then, like this is just a heavyweight's in a brutal spot, man. We really needed Mick Parkin to come through here.
Yeah, but dude, you gotta give credit to Marcin Tybura.
Just a dog.
That's
dude.
a fucking vet.
The guy is. He is.
Like I said last week, all time, dude. He falls somewhere in that all time heavyweight great list.
He's probably
top 50 at least, top 30, top 40. I don't know. You got to put him somewhere.
I have to think more about it, but I'm better than that. Look, he's honestly a low key like great resume. But we went over it last week. But yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Good for Marcin Tybura. But yeah, I was hoping Mick Parkin would come through because goddamn, we need some talent, man.
It is what it is, man. He'll be back though.
Yeah, exactly. Nonetheless, man, the notorious CLD Christian Leroy Duncan picking up a dominant win on the undercard here. The best, which in some ways is like low-key depressing, but the best moment of the night arguably coming in Shauna Bana versus Pooja Tumar. Pooja Tumar, man, people shitting on her for this one too. I'm like, man, you know what? She's had 2 easy fights, 2 bangers. I don't care that she lost this one. Gets a head kick. And by the way, they could have called this fight off. Shauna Bana, like the way her head snapped back and hit the fucking, I thought she was out. And ends up recovering, ends up surviving to round 2, ends up getting a submission win. What'd you make about that one, man? That was some crazy shit.
It was good. A lot of people shit on it because they're like, damn, that looks like some regional MMA. It kind of did, but it was still dope, man. It is what it is, man.
Regional MMA can be fine if it's actually fun. The issue is we get a lot of bad regional MMA happening in the UFC. So yeah, man. Also on the card, Callum Lauren picking up a win over Nathan Fletcher. Controversial split decision win. Give me your thoughts on that one.
I thought Nathan Fletcher got it. I think Callum was able to sneak it through at the end. I recommend rewatching this one. I think it's actually worth your time. A little disappointed there. I like both these guys, and like I said, dude. Funny enough, the fights I called that I thought were going to be bangers, I was like, both these. I said Jordan Vucenic, Chris Duncan sounds like a Cage Warriors main event. Kyle Longer and Nathan Fletcher also sounds like a Cage Warriors main event. Both, in my opinion, both were great fights, and you saw why on that night. Yeah. I gotta disagree with this man. I think they called it wrong.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I didn't agree, and I like Callum Lauren. I do. I think he's a fun kid, and I don't know. I disagree with that one. Opening up the card, Cal Fournette. How you pronounce that man's name? Apologies.
I heard him say it on the broadcast, funny enough.
Well, Fernandez, I apologize. Apologies, my man, out of Rio de Janeiro. Picking up a winner, Guram Kutiladze. Solid fight, Guram's. Surprise! If you're running through Guram like that, you're probably a talented kid. So I feel really bad that.
By the way, but I'm pretty sure Guram's last fights. He's on the downtrend.
He is on the downtrend, but there's still the value. There's that dog somewhere inside of him. I mean, the man came in, he beat Gamrot. He's still got talent there, man. So I
heard people talk. I heard another podcast talking about him. That was kind of like they felt like they had higher hopes for him. Like they thought he was going to be something in it.
As did I. And I think this is kind of the last fight where I could kind of like put the nail in the coffin and kind of be like, okay,
probably not unless he starts to run now.
Yeah. Anyways, man. Yeah, that's all for UFC London, but we do have a fight card to preview. UFC Mexico City going down Saturday night from the Arena CDMX. Going back for the first time since last February, headlined by Moreno versus Royval 2. Brandon Moreno again in the main event. The assassin baby who took some time off after that aforementioned loss to our boy Brandon Royval, the Raw Dog. But he came back in November and just dominated Amir Albazi in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. You name the decision win, not even close for a second. He's back, taking on Steve Erceg, Astro Boy from Australia, coming in here riding a 2-fight losing streak. But granted, it was Pantoja for the gold, where it was one, speaking of terrible decisions, one failed takedown away from winning the gold, arguably. And then he got caught by Kaikar France in 1 minute in Australia last year. How much can you really take away from that? So
the trend, right, of the way the career. I mean, his time in the UFC has been fun though. Like I'm sure he's gonna look back at it no matter what happens, and be like, God damn it, dude! Like I did some shit.
He's having I'd never expected him to be a guy. After his first UFC fight, I was like, it's fine. But
He's
he just
only
kept on
29.
improving. Yeah.
Just so you know, like there's plenty of time there.
There is. According to the current line from our friends over at BetMGM, we follow that link down below. You can get up to $1,500 of bonus bets paid back. Contact 1-800-GAMBLER if you're having any issues. If not, you can follow the link down below. Nonetheless, current line minus 220 for Brandon Moreno. Steve Erceg plus 180 for the Astro Boy. Look, I love me some Astro Boy. He's coming in here on short notice. This was originally supposed to be
on enemy territory.
Yeah, correct. I can't remember who was originally supposed to be in this position. I think he's originally Steve Erceg supposed to fight. Was Manel Cape? Let me double check this. I'm gonna be annoyed if I get this wrong. But I know this was not the original fight plan for this event. I got it wrong. He was supposed to fight Asu Amabalayev, and then they switched him out to fight Brandon Moreno. Much different matchup.
By the way, we are missing some key like Mexican fighters on this. Zell Huber ended up falling out. By the way, he had like 2 different opponent changes. The original fight is not even the original fight anymore. It's 2 different dudes, by the way. It's actually kind of crazy. You saw like a
yeah. That's always funny when that happens. Yeah.
Yair Rodriguez actually was rumored to be on this with Diego Lopez. That did not end up coming to fruition. And Yasmin Hauragi actually had her opponent withdraw, and then she withdrew because she's injured.
Sucks,
so we are missing some of those other big Mexican stars, but the card is still pretty fucking stacked.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I am a fan.
It's this card is great from head to. I'm biased as fuck, obviously, but. Dude, I think it's gonna be an all.
How are you biased, Angel?
I mean, hey man, you can only imagine.
I'm kidding. Nonetheless, so look, I love the Astro Boy. I love Steve Erceg. I love the journey. I think this is Brandon Moreno's night. I mean, he's back in Mexico City for the first time since his loss. I think it's
kind of set up for him, right? Like they kind of got going in there for him.
Yeah,
though Steve Erceg he's known to almost been able to play upset.
Exactly, man. He almost upset Pantoja in Brazil. Maybe could he pull it? I think he could.
I think he could. I think for one, dude, no bullshit. I mean, he has that kind of unknowing look. Like you wouldn't assume so, but I think he might go in there and like Brandon might be like, oh shit, like this guy's actually kind of game. And on top of that, Steve's got some underrated power in there, dude. Like you wouldn't think it looking at him, and his hands are solid. Moreno's wild, he's willing to get into the fire, willing to get mixed. You never know, he could get caught out. I do think in the grappling though, there is an advantage of the Moreno end with the
Oh yeah.
I think wrestling and jiu-jitsu and the scrambles, I mean, I don't know if I mean, and granted, Steve Erceg did his thing though in there with Pantoja when they did hit the ground. It wasn't
he wasn't getting washed.
Yeah, exactly. So who knows? I think he should be able to stand his ground. I think we're in consensus on this one together. I think we're both going Moreno.
Yeah. Same. I love the Astro Boy. It's just a lot stacked against him on Saturday night.
No bullshit.
Yeah. The co-main event is, I mean, a banger, but also this is kind of an odd place.
It's good. I think you could have had Kelvin and Joe Pfeiffer here.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe those guys probably should have been, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't have an issue with it because Dober is a name, but.
And then this is a banger fight. Let me be clear here.
I think
these guys are going to kill each other.
I think they did it more for Manuel Torres. I think they were kind of like, we're giving him a decently profiled 155er. And obviously they want the Mexican fighter in the co-main event. I think that's more or less what it was.
Exactly. But nonetheless, here we go in the co-main event. Manuel Torres, El Loco, who is 3-1 in the UFC, coming off a loss to Ignacio Bahamondes last September UFC 306 at the Sphere. No shame in that. Bahamondes is just a dog. During his UFC run, though, the guy's proved to be all action. He got a knockout one in the Contender Series. He knocked out friend of the show Frank Camacho. He knocked out Nicolas Mata. I say friend of the show. If I interviewed you once, you're fucking friend of the show. Chris Duncan submitted him as well, taking on Drew Dober, who's coming off 2 losses, John Silva and Nata Moicano, but still even at the ripe age of 36, has a lot of power, still a lot of fun, has put together some runs in the past. Can he do it again? We'll see Saturday night. Who do you got in this co-main event in UC Mexico City?
I mean, dude, I don't even think there's a wrong answer here. I mean, both these guys, at least on the Manuel Torres, I think Drew Dober's not necessarily do or die. He can be. I'll put it like that. But, I mean, Manuel Torres is a do or die fighter. I think he kind of comes out, whatever happens. He's okay with the result,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Torres, man. I think he could do it.
Yeah.
Dober's a little older. You want to see a young guy come through. It's in Mexico.
That's the reason why I'm gonna pick him too. I think it's just, and similar to the fight we just talked about in the main event, Brandon Moreno, Steve Erceg. I said there's a lot stacked against Steve Erceg. There's a lot stacked against Drew Dober, coming off 2 losses, including a finish in there. He was a guy that was always like generally pretty. How can I say this? Like he's always had like a really great chin. He has now been finished in 2 of his last 3 by knockout. So that's something worth noting against a young kid who is I mean, I believe he's a decade younger than him. I think he's 26. Manuel Torres, 28, something around there. I just want to double check.
No,
this.
he's 30.
He's 30. Oh damn! My apologies. His birthday was yesterday. That's why I thought he was fucking in his 20s. My bad, man. So
His birthday was yesterday.
Literally yesterday, the March 25th. So shout out Manuel Torres. I think he's gonna even more of a reason for him to win on Saturday. No, but jokes aside,
man,
younger man, look electric, and yeah, man, Drew Dober with a chin seems to be fading. In a firefight, I'm gonna pick the younger kid. But also, it'd be Drew Dober. Just there's some times where you think he's fucking,
he's done.
He's done,
but he's still there, man.
He just pulls it out. Anyways, the rest of the card, we do have some other bangers in here, and you had just mentioned one of them, Kelvin Gastelum, Joe Pyfer. I love that fight at 185.
But I mean, dude, come on, what has Kelvin showed you?
He hasn't shown me much. But is it possible for him to kind of like out veteran a guy in Joe Pyfer who like? I mean, he's kind of, got outlasted by Jack Hermanson once before. Another vet. Is it possible?
Granted, though, but I think in the case of the Jack thing, it was just too much too soon.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I'm just saying. I think it's possible. I think it's possible. I like the fight.
If we had I'd pick Joe.
Oh, I'd absolutely pick Joe. I'm just saying it's possible for.
Oh, dude, I got a crazy parlay this week. You guys don't even know.
Oh shit! You gotta tell me because we actually have our friends of the show, BetMGM. What's the parlay, Angel? Angel's parlay of the week.
I mean, I haven't written it down or anything, but I know that I was going through this and I was like, oh, dude, I'm going to pick this person. I'm going to pick that person. Let's just say it's going to get wild. I might post it on Twitter. I might do like a 10-legger.
The official Courtside Soundoff Twitter account will retweet it. Also on the card, Raul Rosas Jr. taking on Vince Morales. That's a fun one. Raul Rosas Jr. only 20 years old still.
20, almost 20 and a half.
Yeah, 20 and a half. Just fucking crazy. Taking on Vince Morales, who like was in Bellator whenever Raul Rosas Jr. was like in fucking elementary school. So I like that.
I think with the Raul thing, we're always going to be curious, right? Like you kind of have to be there, right? You kind of want to see how far this is going to go, and how the evolution is going to be.
And it blew my mind the other day because I was thinking about it. Like he's been in the UFC for like years now, and he's still only 20. You know what I mean? Like that's the reason. That's the whole thing about his signing.
Is this year 2? I think it's officially year 2.
No, we're past year 2, my man. I mean, we're on.
Is this year 3?
Signed September 2022. We're on year 3. So, and I saw like he was on a Hawani show like earlier this week. And it's like talk about like, hey, he still wants to be the youngest UFC champion ever. And there's still like 3 years and like 6 months or something. And it's like, holy shit, he really might do it.
He could really just slow roll it the whole way through.
Yeah, he could if he wants to.
By the way, are you excited to order your Chi-Wee-Wee's burger?
Chi-Wee-Wee. Of course I am, man.
At that unnamed restaurant we'll not mention.
Yeah, I mean, until they pay us,
right?
Hey, follow those links down below to our actual sponsors. Nonetheless, man, the rest of the card, we got the rest of the main card, David Martinez taking on Simon Oliveira.
Banger there.
Down at 135.
Good young kid right there from Combate.
Ronaldo Rodriguez, love that kid. By
the way, I'm surprised. I mean, he's the main card opener, but I'm surprised that they could have, like, with all the attention he's gotten, especially in Mexico, how big his Instagram's grown, because he has like 2 million followers.
They could have given him a bigger opponent. They probably should have.
They probably could have set him up here bigger, but I guess maybe his choice, maybe the company's choice, and who knows what kind of contract he's on. He's taking it with time, which I think is smart too. Exactly.
Rest of the card, also another flyweight fight. Closing out the prelims, Edgar Shair taking on CJ Vergara. Banger, man. I love that. Flyweight. I feel like it's because like they don't ever think about like, hey, let's just plan out this fight here for flyweight. Who gives a shit? Let's just throw this one here, this one there. It's like consistently like the best division in the UFC because like they actually keep the guys moving. You know what I mean? Like there's multiple flyweight bangers on this one. Also on the prelims, Jose Daniel Manita taking on Abeta Gutierrez. I believe
making his official UFC debut.
Official debut. Also, this is another fucking banger. Like the names aren't the biggest, but Christian Rodriguez, Mezcal Costa.
C-Rod, bro.
Yeah, I love that fight, man. I love that fight. And I still got a lot of hope for C-Rod. Also down there, women's strawweight, Lupi Godinez. We're Loopy fans on the show. We are Loopy fans, and I honestly think if you're not a Loopy fan, why do you follow the sport? She's lost 2 in a row.
She needs to bounce back here.
Yeah, taking on Julia Polasteri, who I believe still early on in her UFC run, just 1-1. Definitely a get back fight, I would think, for Loopy. I mean, Julia, she's coming off a split decision win over Corey McKenna, and I thought Corey McKenna won that one, so we'll see what happens.
She's fighting formerly the smallest fighter in the whole promotion.
And we ended up cutting Corey McKenna for that, which I thought was bullshit. But Corey McKenna now working as a real estate agent, so good for her. Yeah, Rafa Garcia, Vince Pichel, they're gonna try and kill each other on these prelims.
By the way, Vince Pichel,
Vince from hell, Pichel, now 42 years old,
Dude,
still doing the damn thing.
42.
Yeah.
This guy debuted, I think, in like 2012. I think is what I saw.
Dude,
On Tough,
fucking
not even including the
insane.
actual UFC. I think
He's
on Tough.
Yeah, you're right. April 2012. He's one of those guys that like, hey, damn, dude, he's still around. Fuck, like crazy. Jamal Emmers, Gabriel Miranda. That's a lot of fun at 145. And then opening up the card, Markel. This is the fight that neither one of these guys were booked for. This event, Markel Madero's taking on Austin Hubbard. Neither one of these guys were booked. It was originally supposed to be, as you said, Daniel Zellhuber, Elvis Brenner. Both men replaced. So that's always funny whenever that happens.
Yeah, this fight was not even supposed to exist at one point.
Exactly.
And it just happened. So
yeah.
Fuck it. Go to war, boys.
Let's have some fun. Let's have some fucking fun. All right.
It's gonna be a fun night, dude. It's one of the events that I've actually throughout the whole year. I don't know if I've been excited for an event at all, but I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very excited for this one. Really, whenever they just do something like they go somewhere.
I don't even think I was excited for Poatan Ankalaev like I am for this card, if I'm being honest.
That's fair. I mean, I love the main event. I love a lot of the fights on this card. And like I said, the name value isn't the biggest for some of these fights, but goddamn, some of them are just so fun.
That might be one of the best. That might end up being one of the best fight nights, dude, depending how things go.
Literally, I agree. That's all we got for that's the entire card preview, though. We do have some news to break into, and I'd say it's like it's a fair bit of news. Some of these are sad. We're gonna hit just straight off. Let's just hit straight off with the sad ones, okay? Two very sad stories this week. We'll hit off the top. Big George Foreman passing away at the age of 76. What a loss, but what a life. You're talking about a man who went to the Olympics, won gold in 1968. He won gold, and as soon as he turned pro, just started wrecking guy after guy, fighter after fighter, heavyweight after heavyweight, champion after champion, legend after legend. In 1973, I believe he's 73, I could be getting this wrong, knocked out Joe Frazier and just a demolition job.
Frazier's down.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. That's where the fight's from. And he said it a lot that night. Because Joe Frazier, who at that point, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, just fight wasn't close for a second. It's like watching somebody fight the Terminator. George Foreman in his prime was one of the scariest individuals to have ever existed. Right? And that's what made him so legendary. But then obviously, I believe he ends up fighting Muhammad Ali like a year or two later, ends up losing in the Rumble in the Jungle, one of the greatest fights, one of the greatest moments in sports history. He retires after a loss to Jimmy Young whenever God came to him during the fight and said, like, this is not what you should be doing. You need to speak for me, the Lord, or something along those lines, right? He started, dude, it's one of those things like, dude, like.
He had an evangelic moment? I think that's what they call it?
Yeah. Dude, it's not real, George. It's not, his life is not real. He spends 10 years as a preacher in, and I believe Houston, I want to say. Something along those lines. Point being, after 10 years, they didn't have money to improve their youth center. So he's like, well, I guess I got to go back to boxing at 37 years old and not fighting in 10 years. And here's the thing. You look up George Foreman's, his box rec on this. The first, 5 years, he's fighting nobodies. Because everybody's like, oh, yeah, dude. Fucking George Foreman's back? Oh, sure, bro. You look up his record. He had to knock out 20 guys before he ended up fighting anybody relevant. You know what I mean? And then I believe it was him fighting.
Don't you feel bad for those 20 guys?
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Fucking old ass George Foreman coming back? Sure, dude. Yeah, during this run, he knocks out a few dudes who, a lot of these guys don't have Wikipedia pages. He fought an older Dwight Muhammad Kawi, who was 5'6" at light heavyweight. But it was just two older guys who were, yeah, dude.
What a Chad.
Yeah, dude. People don't remember this. After Dwight Muhammad Kawi, I believe he fought Evander Holyfield twice, and they're both legendary fights. After the second one, he fights George Foreman up at heavyweight. What a fucking dog. But yeah, point being, he has dozens of fights where he's just not taken seriously. It took him really until he knocked out Jerry Cooney for anybody to really give a fuck about his comeback, you know? He ends up fighting, he fought a Holyfield for the title, loses. He fights Tommy Morrison for the title, he loses. And then he finally gets one more shot at 45 years old, damn near 46. And for 9 rounds, Michael Moore boxes his ears off, but it only took one. And that's the story of George Foreman. Knocks him out, becomes the oldest heavyweight champion of all time, and then was champion until he was 48 years old. So,
and dude, that doesn't include all his career past that, including
The
like
Foreman Grill.
his sitcom that he had.
Yes.
Not even just that. Even in his youth, he grew up in this no bullshit, the segregated South.
Yeah, dude. I believe he didn't finish high school. I think he only went to junior high, and he was like the George Foreman that I got to meet and the world got to know as like this older, nice man. That's not the George Foreman that like existed before he found God. Like the man he was a wrecking machine. He was scary as fuck. It's just, but it's the American dream. He brought it all back around, and
pretty fucking sick story, man.
it's an insane story. And it's 76. Look, dude, like I said, what a loss, but what a life. I mean, that's all you can really say. That's the story of Big George Foreman. And like I said, I said this on Twitter. The fact that I got to interview him and I got to ask him like 3 questions was genuinely the greatest moment of my young career thus far. I've attended a lot of events. I have got to like ask a few questions, just a big press conferences. You know what I mean? That was it. I've covered a lot of stuff, but that was it. Getting to talk with George Foreman, because you're talking to more than just a man. You're talking to like just walking history. You know,
dude. Out of all the athletes you've gotten to interview, like, what's your like top 5 list? Not in the sense of like, whatever it may be, just memorable ones. They're just memorable for you. They didn't, the interview didn't matter. They were just that memorable to you.
I mean, so
or people you even got to ask questions to.
So let me think. George Foreman's number 1. Max Holloway number 2.
I mean, that one's
the best. Come on, guys.
Stole my Twitter picture.
Yeah. It was for the school project, but getting to like, and it was only an email thing. But Joe Lozon, like getting to like email back and forth.
I think it's because it was so long in the making, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I was 15 at the time. Like, hey man, I'm trying to do this school project where I have to write like a journalism paper. Do you mind? He'll give me some answers about the UFC and
the fact that he responded, right?
Yeah, I responded I emailed him on. I actually messaged him on Reddit, and then he sent me his email, and yeah, it went from there. So that was really cool. I mean, as far as beyond that, like probably like who did I think I got to ask Frank Mir a couple questions at that one press conference for the boxing match with USS Steve Cunningham. That was a fun, because Frank Mir is a fucking, his rivalry with Brock is one of the things that helped bring me to sport, because I watched those Brock fights and was a big WWE fan. And then probably, I don't even remember who the fuck I asked questions to at the Mike Tyson one, but probably that one, just being there,
Just
being
that presence.
Yeah, I feel like there's somebody I'm totally missing, and I'm gonna feel bad about it later. But yeah, George Foreman, number 1 all the way, in by country mile.
Dude, no bullshit. Mike Jackson's up there for me. Underrated one.
And it helps that he's a really fun interview. Like you ask Mike like one question, he'll go off for 5 minutes.
Which is awesome.
That's a great compliment, by the way, because for what we do, that's like what supposed to like give me something, So yeah, man, that was a fun one. But yeah, man, George Foreman, fucking legend, legend of the game, legend of life, and yeah, man, what a run. You see, I was thinking about this the other day, like that video, he put out a video like before his movie came out. It was him hitting heavy bag at like 73 or 74, and like the thudding, like you could still like that is God. It's a good thing he became a preacher, because that is God-given power. You cannot teach.
You probably could still like knock a motherfucker out.
Oh, dude, not a doubt in my mind, And he was sharp and articulate all the way to the end. Like I did some work covered about like tributes to him like earlier this week. I wrote like an article about it, and like I watched like an interview from 2019 where he's talking to Max Kellerman. It was about like why he never fought Tyson. It's like, dude, he was like 70 here and like sharp as a fucking tack, dude. Like, so hell of a life. And yeah, that's all I gotta say.
You know something, I have to say it, man.
Yeah,
now I don't have to worry about Jake Paul trying to get George Foreman as one of his opponents.
Well, hey, you think, right? Yeah, I mean, maybe. Well, now that George is gone, I mean, if anything, he's like, George Foreman, I want to see you on June, like, LA, like, god damn. I mean, Muhammad Ali's next, dude. So, I mean, he's just got to keep on running down the legends. Speaking of Jake Paul, I feel like we haven't heard anything about him fighting, and like, I gotta be honest,
he's about to get married.
Yeah,
he just proposed to his girl.
Kind of nice, right? It'd be kind of nice.
No bullshit. It's because we talked about this right after his last fight. Like
the bubble burst.
What's next? And he also made a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, that's true. I honestly think just the bubble did burst, because you can't do better than dragging out a 57-year-old Mike Tyson as far as getting viewership. Like that's max. That's the peak.
Anything he does now is not going to be as that, unless he fought Canelo, and that's not going to happen.
But even then, it's like I think he's just trying to cash out. That's why he called out Canelo.
Oh well, dude, that's the move. That's what I always said he was going to do.
He called out. So we didn't talk about this. He called out Canelo. He was supposed to fight Gervonta Davis if Davis beat Tank, not beat Davis beat Tank.
Oh wait, that was actually going to happen.
Beat Lamont Roach. Yeah, they were in talks.
He was in the back room because they said they were going to bring out whoever. Oh shit.
Yeah. Well, so and then after that, he called out Anthony Joshua, and it's like, dude, I think at this point he's just looking for a big cash out option because if you fight Anthony Joshua, you're gonna fucking die. Son.
I think
like,
he's just trying to get
even...
one more. He's like, I made enough from Mike. If
but
I can
like,
get,
what's
if I
the
can sneak one more through, I can make some good money.
But what's the point in like having that money if you're gonna die fighting Anthony? Anthony Joshua might literally kill him. So we gotta book it tomorrow. Book a rematch, double-sided rematch clause. Either man can activate it. Trilogy clause. Just we gotta really find out if Jake Paul can beat Anthony Joshua. All
right.
So, anyways,
let's continue.
The next sad topic. Cain Velasquez.
Hashtag free Cain.
Hashtag.
And actually, I think it did trend
Cain.
on Twitter.
It did trend on Twitter. I was a member of that.
I think I changed. I don't know if you saw it in my profile. My Twitter profile hasn't been updated in years. I think since we started the podcast.
Hashtag free Cain.
I added hashtag free Cain in my Twitter profile.
Cain Velasquez, who in 2022, early 2022, chased down a man who was convicted of sexually assaulting his son reportedly upwards of 100 times. This man, Harry Galarte Jr., yes, I'm saying the name because people should know in the California area who this man is.
I didn't expect you to name drop it, but I knew you knew the name.
Of course I know the name. Harry Galarte Jr. Yeah, so be on the lookout, okay? So this man who, like I just said, convicted, currently set to go, still hasn't gone to trial, by the way. Funny, right? Somehow they could rush Cain in there, but nonetheless. Still waiting to see what if any sort of punishment will be happening to this guy. So far, none. After getting arrested and being convicted, he was let loose on house arrest. I think just like a day after he was arrested. Cain Velasquez chased him down in his car, fired several shots at the car in traffic, which obviously you should never do vigilante violence. But, you know, he ended up being arrested. And Cain, who has been the model citizen, not only in the cage, out of the cage, known as a family man, known as a coach, does stuff with the youth, like wrestling camps and shit. And all, like, viewed, honestly, during his UFC run, he was almost like a gentle giant. The guy never had really any real beef with anybody, you know?
Good dad, too, man. That video of him on that little toy, like the little quarter horse riding eating ice cream.
Yeah, that's some good dad shit, you know? And he did that, and he should not have done that, but he spent a year in a jail cell with a judge who said that he was a danger to the public, and that just any time the subject of bail would come up, not even a conversation, like, hey, you're I believe a danger to society is what this original judge said, just this disgusting human being. And eventually he got a new judge. That new judge gave him bail. He had been on house arrest for 2 years. Finally went to trial. He had reached a plea deal for 5 years in prison for this shooting. And that's one of those things that sounds really bad. And obviously any time spent away from his family would be a negative thing. It's something that, even though the legal system, I understand he was going to be given a punishment, ideally you would never want to see that happen, because Cain Velasquez, like we just said, known as a great human being by everybody.
Did you actually mention what the sentencing was?
So the sentencing was 5 years in prison, but it was 5 years in prison with time served, meaning the 2 years he spent on house arrest and the 1 year he spent in a jail cell in California will count, meaning he will be out, I believe, February of 2027. Could be out sooner with good behavior.
So hopefully a year only.
Yeah, hopefully only a year.
But wasn't the DA trying to get Cain like 30 years?
The DA was trying to put Cain Velasquez in prison for life.
Yeah, it was insane.
And that should keep you up at night as a human being. I mean that genuinely. The fact that Cain Velasquez, if this wasn't Cain Velasquez, the UFC star, he's in prison for life.
You're not lying.
And obviously he did something wrong. But again, I said this earlier. The other man who, again, molested a child 100 times
is out at home right now, eating Doritos, watching Netflix.
Exactly. And not only that, was let loose on bail right after it happened. But Cain Velasquez, no, we have to put him in jail cell for a year. 5 years now. So, and I understand you can argue that one crime is worse than the other, but I don't think you can argue any crime is worse than abusing a child. And yeah, I mean, that's what I have to say about it. I'm somebody who has generally, typically not like this. Like I'm the big, like, oh, the legal process, yada, yada, yada. The legal process does not have the mechanisms it should always have. In a situation like this, where it's something so horrific as that, and even then, he didn't hit the guy. He like the guy's like stepfather, who's been talking shit the last few years, by the way. And then afterwards, they talk shit out in front of the courthouse. Like, I can't believe it's such a light sentence. Really, you can't believe it's such a light sentence? Really, I wonder what happened. What drove a man such as Cain Velasquez to do that? Yeah. Look,
Cain had
That's it.
existed all those years, never had no criminal issues.
yeah, no one is just a fantastic man. He just up and decided one day to just randomly do this crime, like, and sometimes that happens. But look, the MMA community and the sports community is behind Cain Velasquez, and I understand. I am not defending his decision because he could have hurt an innocent person in the process. He was firing out, very irresponsible, but at the same time, I'm happy that he's gotten the sentence, which will mean he's going to be in his children's lives, which is what he deserves and what his children and his family deserves.
Yeah.
So that's it.
He got a little time out and a little time in. Now he's going back in, unfortunately.
He's going, and it's unfortunate. But look, this was probably the best outcome.
And also, we know Cain's not going to have any trouble in jail. So that also makes you can also live
yeah,
happily.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, this was probably the best outcome.
And no one's probably going to fuck with Cain either. So
I would hope not, man.
Could you imagine? What kind of idiot would you have to be?
Yeah, dude, literally. So, nonetheless, we do have some other we have other sad news. We actually just mentioned Jake Paul. How about KSI? You said you did not care about KSI versus Dylan Dennis. I said I don't hate it because I like watching Dylan Dennis get fucked up. Now, sadly, I'm getting the worst outcome. KSI versus Dylan Dennis canceled. Dylan Dennis, Tony Ferguson still going ahead. So, Angel, give me your thoughts on the cancellation. Do you care at all? And KSI has been linked to Turkey Al-Sheikh.
Wait, are they still doing the event? I thought they canceled.
They canceled the whole event, I believe.
Yeah, they canceled the whole event.
Yeah, I mean, this fight is just, I say cursed, but also who really wants to see it, Like, and I honestly, my guess is that something is happening with KSI and Turkey Al-Sheikh because they met a few weeks back. And for KSI to pull out like 10 days before the fight saying he was sick, yeah, I don't know how much I buy that.
Who knows? Maybe they thought it wasn't going to be as good as.
I don't. And you have any thoughts?
I mean, like I said, I already didn't really care much for it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Anyways, we have a few other things which are not really sad or bad, just kind of, actual news. This one, I want to hear your thoughts on this one because I watched like most of this event. Dirty Boxing 1, Miami, Florida. John Jones just announced as the co-owner. Mike Perry owns the league. Paige Van Zandt was in attendance, probably paid her to be there. Nonetheless, there was a card full of some Bellator veterans, some BKFC guys, some former UFC guys, former, I don't know what to say. Like friend of the show, Brian Maxwell actually fought on this card. Got stopped in the second round.
I saw that.
Very unfortunate. But nonetheless, he actually won a few before that. So, hey, fuck it, man. We still love. But Manny co-man, Andre Arlovski in the co-main scores a stoppage win with a step-in elbow, which was just beautiful. Dude was leaking like a faucet. His first stoppage win in 10 years. Yoel Romero knocks out Bellator veteran Ross Hilton in the main event, who was like 6'7". Give me your thoughts on Dirty Boxing 1, what you saw of it, and your whole reaction.
I mean, I didn't get to see much of it. I just saw Yoel like blasting this guy in the final round. That was pretty much all I got to see.
Yeah.
Which was cool, man. I mean, I think they got a cool concept. It was cool that it was on YouTube. I mean, they got something there. They got the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
They just need to keep building upon it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think that as far as building upon it, there's still a lot of potential for this, man. Like, I like it. It's basically just boxing and 4-ounce gloves. That's it. I think that's sick. Limited ground strikes. You could do elbows too, but that's basically it.
And it's more or less the kind of street fight you want. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, man. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was a lot of fun, man. I liked it a lot. It was like, this is the closest thing we're gonna get to like a high profile kickboxing league in America, I guess, even though it's not kickboxing. So, fuck it. Good for Yoel, 46. Good for Andre Arlovski at 46 as well. The old dogs.
By the way, it
showed the levels too.
Does he have like officially no affiliation with PFL anymore?
Correct.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Correct. No affiliation with him. Yeah, but he's also both guys signed to GFL, which we learned GFL. I don't have this in the rundown because I'm
they announced some more fights or dates apparently.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have it in the rundown because I'm still not sure how much of this is actually going to happen.
I mean, we'll find out, man.
Yeah.
How far out were the fights that they announced?
So the first event, I reported on this earlier this week for BJPenn.com, the greatest MMA site on the planet. Let me see. The inaugural Global Fight League event is slated for May 24th and May 25th in Los Angeles. Will feature Tony Ferguson versus Dylan Dennis. Also on the card, Uriah Faber, Renan Barao. And Anthony Pettis, Benson Henderson 3, the trilogy, and then Douglas Lima, Uriah Hall.
So like a month and a half, let's say.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's right now. But anyways, we'll see if those fights actually happen. We still don't know a lot of information. These aren't even public dates yet. That's something Eric Hawani reported. Still no distribution rights either. So worth noting. So something worth noting for that. Nonetheless, man, we finally have gotten some resolution with the James Krause betting scandal. Angela, have you seen this news?
I haven't like dove into it, but I saw it because they were specifically talking about Jeff Molina.
Okay. So for those of you who can recall,
it's been so long now.
It's been a fucking minute, dude.
Is this going on 4 years almost?
We're going on 3 years. 3 years. So November 5th. Let me see, actually. November 5th, 2022. Derek Minner faces Shilan Nuranabike. In the first round, he goes out there. Derek Minner throws 3 leg kicks on the third one. He drops down like his leg hurt. Fight stoppage over inside of a minute. Me, who was watching without any context, thought, man, that looked weird. I remember at the time, you and I talking, man, what a weird stoppage. Almost immediately, there were reports that, okay, there's something shady about this fight. There's something sneaky about it. James Krause instantly starts getting suspended. Derek Minner got suspended. After a few weeks, Jeff Molina also got suspended. He was a teammate of both guys. Well, we have now learned Jeff Molina suspended. Derek Minner suspended for withholding information related to the fight and also betting on it. He placed quote unquote significant bets. Jeff Molina did. Yeah. He said, for what it's worth, his statement, my words were twisted here, wagered on the entire card. It's how I made extra money on the side, but it wasn't fighting at all. And all I do is watch fights. I had wagers on both sides of the fight, and my significant bet was less than $500. The one thing I'm guilty of was continuing to wager on fights after the UFC emailed us telling us to stop. Blah, blah, blah. So basically, both guys suspended 3 years. Yeah, I mean, give me your thoughts. I mean, James Krause is still awaiting punishment.
So the 3 year suspension, well, he's dealing with the feds.
He's dealing with the feds. He had a lot more than just, like, he was also working as like an offshore bookie type guy. So it's like,
yeah, and he had a Discord and all this.
This shit. Jeff Molina was in that same Discord and knew about the injury. And granted, this is just what he's saying. And I like Jeff Molina, but I'm not sure how much you can really take his word for it at base value when you've already been caught doing this. So, yeah, I mean, by the way, the fact that, like, they basically only suspended these guys for 3 years for fixing a fight. Because that's basically what happened, right? I mean, they obviously didn't find enough to prove that, like, they straight up fixed it. But they knew, okay, Derek Minner is entering the fight with an injury, and his teammates are betting against him to lose the fight. So
I thought Jeff Molina was his suspension was actually due to end.
So here's the thing: it's retroactive. So he
was already on one. It's ending. The next one is starting.
No. So he was on. So it's basically suspended 3 years from the date they originally suspended. Both guys will be eligible to fight as soon as November 5th.
Which, who knows if the UFC will bring back either guy.
Derek Minner was already released. Jeff Molina was suspended.
Didn't Derek Minner come back for one more, though?
Huh?
I thought Derek Minner fought one more in the UFC.
No, he didn't. He was released immediately. Derek Minner was released immediately. Jeff Molina was on indefinite suspension. Jeff Molina still has a deal with the company, and actually was riding a winning streak and just got ranked whenever this all happened. So, very interested to see what happens with him because he's a guy that has a lot of talent. Like this, really, he fucked up his whole career by doing this. So I'm hoping the best of the guy, you know.
And then on top of that, he was outed on
which was fucked up.
Which was fucked up on top of everything already going on in his life. Then he got outed. And that was really fucked up.
Yeah. I'd honestly like to get Jeff Molina on the show to ask him about some of this stuff.
As much as he can. You know, I'm sure he's limited.
Yeah.
And he seems like
living his life.
He seems like a nice guy. Like, genuinely, once again, I think this happened, 3 years ago? He was 25, 24. I genuinely think this was just a young individual who was listening to someone else. Obviously, took actions on his own, too. And made a mistake, didn't realize how serious or bad things can get, and it limited his career.
Yeah.
Because right now, Jeff Molina could be a top 5, 10 guy in the division, potentially.
Yeah, he was 24 at the time. So a young kid.
That's what I'm saying.
he made a mistake, and he was a top 15 guy at the time, and was on that route to potentially becoming a top 5 like future. Like he was on a hell of a run, man, and it just didn't work out for that way. I hope he gets it together, and I hope he has in his time away, because I mean that's a lot of time to miss, and who knows if the UFC will.
I think he even had
back.
Injuries too. He even dealt with an injury that like because he was competing in jiu-jitsu, and then he dealt with an injury because of that as well.
And who even knows if the UFC will bring him back? That's the big thing we don't know. Because like I said, Derek Minder's for sure gone. Jeff Molina still has a contract with the UFC. He was suspended indefinitely.
I got something off the record I got to tell you off air that I know about him too.
Interesting. Okay. Speaking of flyweight, we'll move on down. Koji Horiguchi's finally some fucking good news. Okay? Oh my god!
I saw this shit.
Saw this one, and it just it fires you up in the morning. Koji Horiguchi.
You ever wake up with an erection after they announce a fight?
Oh, dude. Hey, man. Every morning. Okay.
You know how I'm gonna be when they announce John Jones versus Tom Aspinall?
Yeah, dude. I got a phoner right now. Okay. Koji Horiguchi, arguably the greatest flyweight on the planet. Yeah, I'm saying it, guys. Even at the age of 34, has been dominant and rising. During his time from the UFC, away from the UFC, he's been gone from the UFC for almost a decade now. He's won Bellator Gold in bantamweight. He's won Rising Gold at flyweight and bantamweight. He won the Bellator Grand Prix as well. Dude, the guy in the Rising Grand Prix, excuse me. Goddamn, the accomplishments.
Look at his losses in recent time, though. You gotta like also look at that.
Here's the losses: Kaya Sakura, Sergio Pettis, Patchy Mix. That's it. In 10 years away from the UFC.
Two of those guys up a weight class.
Yeah. In 10 years away from the UFC. Those are the only losses. Obviously, he left riding a 3-5 winning streak, and he was back in 2016. He fought DJ for the title. He's still one of the greatest fighters on the planet. And will be returning to the UFC Octagon later this year. Let's fucking go, dude. I understand he's a teammate of Alexander Pantoja, but
that does not matter here.
Let's put it aside. Give fucking Koji Horiguchi.
Give me what I want. God damn it.
Give me what I want. Like the Dave Bautista meme, Koji Horiguchi versus Brandon Royval, #1 contender fight. Just fucking run,
dude.
Shit.
Honestly, I just want to. They're gonna hit us with a. So I just started blasting. They're gonna hit us with that shit. Got you. I got you.
Yeah, man. Whatever. Just give me something fun.
Did you like that?
I did. I like that. Give me the gooch against Royval. Give me the gooch against the winner of Moreno.
Man, we had Cuck and Buck earlier. Now we got the gooch.
We got Cuck and Buck, and now we got the gooch coming back, man. Oh man, yeah. We were just talking about having a phoner, man. I guess it makes sense. So nonetheless, who would you like to see him fight in his first fight back? He has no rumored opponent.
Oh, just like they're throwing him in there.
Yeah.
Ooh. Man, can I see the rankings? Do you still have them pulled up?
The current rankings at UC, the flyweight division, number 15. They actually just removed our boy Charles Johnson to put Kaya Sakura in there, and that's fucked up. And I actually want to get our boy the energy on the show, but nonetheless,
I mean, I know they can't do this one, or it doesn't make sense, but I would have loved Manel Cape.
Yeah, I get that. Well, and I will say
Manel Cape or Moreno,
Ariel Helwani said,
or Red Ball. Those are my top 3, and that so Cape, Moreno, Ray Ball as a third.
Gotcha.
Those 3.
Gotcha. I like that. I like that.
And honestly, I did it in order of kind of availability too. So
I'll also say that Ariel Helwani did say that Horiguchi the Gooch was linked to Tiger Ulanbekov, but that's far from a solidified fight. So that'd be by far the worst option they could possibly do for this guy's return. And no offense, but if I were to rank the entire top 15, Tiger Ulanbekov might be like 13 or something like that. As far as opponents I want to see fight Horiguchi, like he's near the bottom.
He's near the bottom.
And he's not even a bad guy. He's not even unentertaining.
13 is actually pretty good. Like I started thinking about it, going through some of them real quick in my head. You're probably about right.
Yeah, like here's the top 15. I'm gonna run them all down. I'd rather see him fight Brandon Royval. I'd rather see him fight Moreno, Albazi, Kai France, Tatsuro Tara, Manel Cape, Alex Perez, Steve Erceg.
The Perez one, not really, just because of the situation Perez is in right now.
Yeah, but I mean, I still think that'd be a more fun fight than him against Tiger.
It would be, but it's definitely on the lower end.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, for sure. I'm just saying generally.
Oh, no.
Asu Alive, it's close.
I'd like that one.
I'd like Asu more than Tiger Ulanbekov, but it's close. Tim Elliott, I'd rather see him fight Tim Elliott. I'd rather see him fight Bruno Silva.
Nah, I kind of want Tim Elliott for some of the young guys.
Fair enough. I just think it'd be fun. Hamzat Turamov, I'd rather see him fight Ulanbekov. That's one.
Damn.
Dude.
I'm indifferent on that one.
All right. Joshua Van, Yeah, give me that over. Dude, that fight would be insane, man. The Gucci against Joshua Van?
Josh was like with head stops too.
Oh, shit. No,
soccer kids. I did not expect that behavior. We've been talking way too much about Gummy
right.
today.
Kai Asakura, and then, I mean, they've already had legendary fights in Ryzen, so
why not another one in the UFC?
Fuck it, man. All right. Yeah, I'm happy, man. I'm happy that the Typhoon, not the Gooch, is coming back to the UFC. Anyways.
Koichi Yamaguchi. He had an interview this week, actually. I wonder what he said. He's talking about the PFL.
You know what? We'll get him on. We'll get him on the line, dude.
We need that guy in the UFC.
Last subject of the show. Artem Vetikov. I apologize. I'm mispronouncing his name. You guys know. The man who defeated Alex Bahia last in the kickboxing ring. Fought in the Dana White Contender Series last year. Got a contract. And then it was like, you know what? This ain't shit. And then he has instead signed a deal to fight for the Glory heavyweight title, facing Rico Verhoeven later this year. By the way, also takes Rico out of the running to fight Francis Ngannou, who he was in talks with. So that's another story in of itself. But man, another big free agent being like, you know what? No interest in the UFC. They offered me a deal, but the contract's just too low. We see this happen with Cedric Duwambe. We saw this happen with oh my God! Didn't he just go to KSW? I can't think of the guy's name.
Oh,
regardless, we've had multiple stories with this as of late, of guys who have like potentially been offered UFC deals, but just like the money just doesn't make sense for them. Guys are going to tons of this has happened multiple times before. This is probably the one I'm most irritated by in a while because this guy, you know, very talented, has a winner pay, easily marketable.
Dude,
what do you think?
The quote's even more insane. According to the UFC protocols, they were not able to offer me more than the standard contract offered to all fighters who progress through the show. Once again, another reason why I hate the Contender Series.
Yeah.
His team attempted to negotiate, but the UFC rules were strict and no changes were possible.
Yeah. I mean, this is...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's what we talk about every week.
I will say, I kind of do get why they maybe didn't want to give him a big contract because of the risk that comes with it. He doesn't have a lot of MMA fights. But at the same time, I will say this to the UFC. If these guys want the big fights, or if they want the big money, they need to take the hard fights. Mm-hmm. So that's where it has to even out.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I get it. I kind of get it for the UFC, but at the same time, like $10,000 to fight in the best MMA promotion on the planet is fucking insulting already. And for a former, this guy's not coming from fucking WWE. He's coming from kickboxing, bro, and he's making more money there. Like, in kickboxing is famously a sport where you don't make shit fighting in it. But at the top level, he's still making more than he would make at the UFC, you know? So, like, it's just disappointing. And I'll say this. It is just another thing that we talk about because we come in here the show every week. I said last week, Groundhog's Day. What do we talk about? The Contender Series sucking ass and just some of the talent coming through not being at the same level.
And let me reiterate something. There is definitely a place for the Contender Series. There is definitely a home where you have the Contender Series. There's actually been a thing before the Contender Series. It was the Contender Series, which was Strikeforce Challengers. Yes. And that worked. And they did it right. And there were some notable names that fought on that. Michael Chandler actually fought on Strikeforce Challengers. I think Luke Rockhold also did. Just to name a few, like some of the alumni. There is definitely a place for there to be a lower level or an entryway into the UFC that can lead you in there if you need that kind of path.
Yes.
But they definitely do need to allow certain guys. They do need to just sign guys to, you know, whatever contracts they negotiate with the person's team and immediately sign them. Opposed to saying, well, we want you to go to the Contender. And the thing is, they did just sign a few guys. They just signed 2 guys from KSW.
They did.
Off the rip. But you know something they didn't do? They didn't sign some of the other guys that I think were worth their time. I think I even said it to you. I was like, I'm happy they signed some guys from KSW. I'm just not happy with the choices.
Yeah. That's the thing about the UFC right now. Is like, I don't know, man.
Like,
it all comes down to money.
We didn't even mention it, but Taylor Leplicius, who had fought in the UFC, signed with the PFL.
Yeah, and who is a great talent, won multiple fights in a row, and they just let him go because they're like, yeah, you know what? Who cares? We'll just sign somebody else, and we'll just cannon fodder. That's what, like, 80% of the UFC is right now. And that's disappointing because it's one of my favorites. I mean, man, I love combat sports so much. This and boxing, that's my shit.
They kind of, I hate to say it, but no offense to some of the people who come through, but they kind of do throw shit at the wall.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Like with these guys, they're like, okay, well, let's get them on low contracts. Whoever breaks through and Because, like, dude, like I said, if you have faith in yourself and you think you could be a top level UFC fighter, the thing you need to do, which a lot of the good guys have done, who made their way through quick, are guys who are like, all right, they fight their first official, they made their contender fight, they win the contract, and then immediately fight as much as they can to get out of that contender contract. Hopefully, get some big knockouts, get some big highlights, and try to maximize getting to the rankings as fast as possible, or just get out of their contender contract.
Exactly.
I just saw this shit too, funny enough.
Yeah. Ryzen just announced a 8-man heavyweight Grand Prix for May 4th.
I mean, does that just not make you want to punch the air?
Makes me fired up. Now, I will say, not a great talent selection, but there's also they don't have a big heavyweight pool anyway. I mean, dude, heavyweights in general, it's not a good spot.
They're out there though. It's a lack of effort of trying to find guys and develop guys and stuff like that. 100%.
You're not wrong about that. I'll say that. Definitely. Absolutely.
Also, you can motivate some of these guys who fight at 205 to get up to heavyweight, dude. Yeah. Just don't have to weight cut. Yeah. Dude, there's this 6'7", well, actually, never mind. He's a heavyweight who fights in KSW, who I'm like, dude. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Who's a former kickboxer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Damn. He has a sick name.
Anyways, man, anything else we want to go talk before we go ahead and close out of here?
No, man, that's it.
Yeah. Same here for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the pod. I'm at Josh Soundoff on Twitter. He's at Angel Ortega _01. At Courtside Sound for all things related to the show. Appreciate the support as always, guys. Peace. Enjoy the fights.